What's going on, guys? This is part 2 to my Freemason video. And this is where we're really gonna get into the juice. We're gonna get to the good stuff here. So you know what? I'm not even doing an intro. Let's just get into it. Albert Pike was the Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of the world. He was the top head honcho guy. If there's one person that knows anything about Freemasonry, it was this guy. And he wrote a lot of things in his book that Morals and Dogma is what the book's called, that I found very interesting. So let's see. He says, that which we must say to the crowd is we worship a God, but it is a God that one adores without superstition. To you, sovereign grand inspectors general, so he's talking to another high up Freemason, we may say this, that you may repeat it to the brethren of the 32nd, 31st, and 30th degrees. The Masonic religion, keyword there, should be, by all of us initiates of the high degree, maintained in the purity of the Luciferian doctrine. If Lucifer were not God, why would Jesus spread false and harmful statements about him? Yes, Lucifer is God. So this is seriously what these people think. They think that Lucifer came to give mankind this hidden secret knowledge that God didn't want us to have. I mean, think about it. What did the serpent say to Eve in the Garden of Eden? First, he questions God's word. He said, did God really say you would die if you ate of the tree of knowledge of good and evil? And that's exactly what Freemasons do. They twist God's word, and I'll explain that in a little bit. And then the serpent says, you will not surely die, but your eyes will be open, and you will see like God. And I always address, that is the lie. That is the big lie that the Bible talks about. It says they will fall deceptive into believing the lie. Not a lie, not a couple lies. The lie. What is the lie? That we are somehow gods and we are going to be enlightened through meditation and yoga and blah 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 and Freemasonry, and we're gonna, our eyes will be open. You ever hear that before? You open your third eye. Anyways, and then this is the Eastern Star, which is basically Freemason for women. Because this is the Brotherhood, and then Eastern Star is like the Sisterhood. It's an upside down pentagram. Surprise! What does upside down pentagram represent? The Baphomet, Satan, the god of lust. I thought was interesting because everybody's obsessed with lust nowadays. I mean, people define themselves by how many people they've slept with. They really do. They think it's cool, or and they lust after money and sexual immorality, and it's just pathetic what they've turned this world into, and how far Lucifer has gotten in his falling away, or his deception to that man will fall away from God. So let's see some more quotes from Albert Pike. Lucifer, the light bearer, a strange and mysterious name given to the spirit of darkness. Lucifer, the son of the morning, it is he who bears the light. Doubt it not. This is Freemason mentality. Whether you believe it or not, you might be a low-class Freemason. This is what they're doing in the higher-ups. I tell everyone that high-level Masons worship Lucifer, but nobody believes me. And I was the head of the Masonic Lodge. That's what Albert Pike says. People don't believe me, but I'm the head guy. I know what's going on, and this is what's going on. Masonry is a search after light, just as I addressed in my first video. that search leads us directly back, as you see, to the Kabbalah. So now we're getting tied into this false sense of Judaism that was just completely made up. It was Babylonian garbage nonsense thrown into the Judaic religion, and it used to be the Torah, which is the Old Testament. Now they have the Kabbalah, which is just Babylonian mysticism and magic and witchcraft. And they also have the Talmud, which just endorses pedophilia and the murder of anybody who's not Jew. And so that's how they take things and they twist it. And I put this in here just to show you that everything's all connected. This is a big network of people working together to deceive mankind, I promise you. And it's led by Lucifer himself. So this is what I was talking about, where they twist the Bible. This is the Freemason Bible, and it has all this ancient Egyptian worship of Nephilim and sun worship and all this kind of stuff in it. Why? This is not biblical. Why is this in here? Why even call it a Bible? Seriously, the Masonic Bible, they just took the Bible, they twisted a couple verses so it sounds a different way. They added in all this Egyptian nonsense, and they changed definitions of words in in the thesaurus in the back, um, just to twist the word of God. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. So I put these in here just to show you that this world is controlled. All these wars are fake. Fake wars, people. It's to get money and to set up the world the way they want it set up. If you want, I'm not even going to read these, but pause the video now and read those if you want, because it's insane. I'm trying to keep these videos short, though. All right, so Demolay. Okay, this is where we're starting to get into some juicy stuff here. So Jacques de Molay was the last Grand Master of the Knights Templar. The Knights Templar was this group of people back in the day before Freemasonry was a thing. And they were supposedly like the same thing Freemasons are. Oh, well, we're this do-gooders club, blah, blah, blah. Well, they got caught worshiping the Baphomet. It always goes back to the Baphomet. Everything goes back to the Baphomet. So this guy, Jacques de Molay, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I really don't know or care, but this guy was burnt at the stake because he was the leader of this group of people that were worshiping the Baphomet. They were having homosexual orgies and rituals, and they were like spitting on the cross and denouncing Jesus Christ and all this stuff. And so that's proof right there. Why are these people so worried about Jesus Christ? It's always Jesus that they're ragging on and denouncing and spitting on the cross. Why don't they have a problem with Hindu gods or Buddha or Islamic gods? It's always Jesus that these people have a problem with. Have you ever noticed that? So anyways, so this guy, Jacques de Molay, he was burnt at the stake. And interestingly enough, he requested to be facing Notre Dame when he was burnt. And then now, almost exactly 900 years later, we have Notre Dame being burnt to the ground right in between the spring equinox and the Beltane, the fire ritual. That's a mighty fine coincidence. I'm not going to get into that. And there's a lot of other things that people are getting into about how the statues of the disciples were taken out, the crown of thorns was saved. There's a lot of numerology kind of hidden messages in there and stuff like that. And so it's really weird if you look into it, but that's not why I'm here. But the reason I'm bringing all this up is, where have we seen the word or the name Demolay before? It's a Masonic order. So they bring in, before you can become a Mason, because that's for adults, they have basically a kiddie Freemason group of people called the Demolay. Why is it called the Demolay? It couldn't be named after this guy Jacques de Molay that was burnt at the stake for devil worship. Is that what it could be? And then I put these pictures in here just to show you that these politicians are connected to this. Bill Clinton, I would never deny that I'm a de Molay, and here he is at a de Molay meeting of some sort with all these kids, just brainwashing these children, these poor kids. Pray for the kids that are stuck in things such as the de Molay and they don't know any better, and pray for the kids that are SRA victims and things like that, satanic ritual abuse victims. There's plenty of stories of satanic ritual abuse, and nobody seems to bat an eye. Nobody cares. And in fact, when you look at things like the McMartin case, which I'm definitely doing a video about because that was complete BS. Those people should be locked up until the day they die. In fact, they should have been publicly executed, if you ask me. That's my opinion. And the whole case got thrown out, and there was insane amounts of evidence that these people were ritualistically abusing children. And I mean, what's the guy's name? I can't think of his name. He was a former head of the chief of the FBI. He did investigation on this case, and he tried to bring the trial back and retry these people because he found all this insane evidence after he did a little digging, and they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't have it. Case closed. These people they're fine. The kids made it up. These kids that are 3 and 4 years old made up these stories about being sexually abused. Yeah, right. And then you get the West Memphis 3 with ties to Aleister Crowley, and they raped and murdered this kid. I think it was just one kid. It might have been a couple. But they got let out, and the crazy part is we had celebrities coming in to defend these Satan worshipers. They had pentagram tattoos and Aleister Crowley books, and they were practicing Aleister Crowley's teachings, admittedly, and all this stuff. And we have people like Johnny Depp coming to the rescue. These people are just misfits. They're just kind of like gothic kids, and you're making up these things about them because you don't understand them. They listen to heavy metal, and so you think they're Satan worshipers. That's what Johnny Depp was saying about the West Memphis 3. I might do a video about that later too. I'm sorry if that little rant didn't make sense. I'm just kind of like ranting at this point about it, but it fires me up because these people, like the McMartin case, the West Memphis 3, and Jacques de Molay, they're all accused of these of worshiping the devil and the Baphomet and these terrible things, and these rituals, but they always come out and say, oh no, they were falsely accused. All three of those examples I just listed, they said they were falsely accused. The people were forced into confessing because they didn't see another option. They weren't really guilty, but they confessed because they didn't see another option. Yeah, right. give me a freaking break, people. This is ridiculous. And people don't bat an eye. They're too worried about LGBT. It's insane. So, anyways, moving on though. Here's a picture of Assassin's Creed glorifying Jacques de Molay, the guy that was burnt at the stake for devil worship. They have him in here. And then after it shows this little scene of him being burnt alive, it switches to this other scene where it's just flashing Illuminati type symbols, such as the Eye of Horus, the triangle, the upside down pentagram inside a circle, the six-sided Star of David, and other occultic symbols. It's just flashing them. Why is that in this video game? Who made that up? Nobody made it up. It's there for a reason. They're showing you. They're out in plain sight showing you this stuff. People just don't pay attention enough because they're too busy worrying about how many likes they have on Instagram and taking pictures of their dinner and posting it on Facebook. Like anybody really cares. Also, the superstition of Friday the 13th was because of this man. He was ordered to be killed on Friday the 13th. That's where that superstition comes from. It's it's not just the Jason movies. Thought that was kind of interesting that we still keep that alive. That's what they do, is they try to play out these people's legacies for so long, even though they're evil and disgusting. And also in Assassin's Creed, it says when it's talking about him being burnt alive, and it says the age of true wisdom came to a blistering close. True wisdom. What's that sound like? That sounds just like what they're saying about Lucifer being the bearer of true wisdom, and he came to enlighten us. Blah, blah, blah. It's all crap, people. And going back to all these people that got let off the hook, these satanic ritual abuse things, and the witch hunts and stuff that happened, and everybody just says it's all bullcrap, made up. What do you think? They're just running around burning people at the stake for no reason? Oh, we don't like these people that do witchcraft, so we're going to kill them. No, they were burning these people alive and doing these things to these people because people's children were going missing. People's animals were going missing, and they knew why. They knew that these witches and these Satanists were sacrificing them. They were caught. Cats out of the bag. And that's why these people were executed, not just because crazy Christians made up this superstition. No. This stuff was really going on, and people used to have a set of nuts to stand up against it. Nowadays, you're not even allowed to talk about it. In fact, this video might be flagged for hate speech. It's crazy. But moving on, I'm just ranting, getting worked up. So I wanted to bring up Benjamin Franklin, because, well, there's plenty of famous Freemasons I could bring up. George Washington, all kinds of people. I wanted to bring up Benjamin Franklin because they found all these dead bodies under this guy's house. And I guess they're trying to say he was into anatomy, so he was doing scientific research on these bodies. But is it not weird for a scientist to... Oh, you don't return the bodies once you're done to have a proper burial. You just go ahead and bury them under your house? I don't think so. That's weird. This guy probably had bodies under his house because he's doing weird satanic rituals due to Freemasonry. So So last thing I'm gonna address in this video, I just want to throw this in here. I have no idea who this guy is, but he supposedly is a Freemason, and this one you go ahead and call it wishy-washy if you want, but I wanted to throw it in there because I thought it was an interesting quote. Uh, no one will enter the New World Order unless he or she will make a pledge to worship Lucifer. No one will enter the New Age unless he will take a Luciferian initiation. I mean, that sounds like the mark of the beast, people. And here we have, I mean, just the beginning of it all, guys. And I guess the last thing I'll say is it's interesting that all of this comes down to Baphomet worship. All of it. Freemasonry, Knights Templar, the Jesuits, other secret societies and things. It's all Baphomet worship. And and then we have the Satanists and the Satanic Temple worshiping the Baphomet, or at least that's their symbol. But they go, "Oh no, we're atheists. We don't believe in the devil or God or anything. We're actually just atheists." Why do you worship the Baphomet then? Like all these Satanists and Luciferians. So I mean, that's just it's. I guess that's just a giant coincidence. You know, that must be a huge coincidence. Um, I really do think that most Satanists, that, or at least most Satanists that think that they're atheists, have been tricked into worshiping the devil, whether they believe it or not. Um, so, anyways, that's pretty much everything. The video is way too long already. Thanks for listening, everybody.